Thank you for not making me a woman. Why, did you become a woman overnight? Your masculinity is that feeble? Like, if you're not actively male, then you're not male? I mean, come on, what every morning?
So, just a commentary, maybe we can discuss later, but something that I will request you, and it's a very basic, very, very basic, but in the daily prayers, daily morning prayers, there are some topics that if you can explain maybe the 4 or 5 items that are in the list, that would be great. Like, for example, right? It's like we give thanks to God in the morning when we say that He covered the naked, right? But what really does that mean? What is the real meaning behind that? In one of other topics, right? I mean, in one of them, He unleashes the bound, and so on, right? Those topics, I think they have a deeper significance. Just not only what the wording says, there is the deeper significance on that, and it will be great if you can explain that. Right?
In the morning prayers, we have a series of blessings, thanking God for a number of things. For example, thank you for giving sight to the blind. That's because during the night, our eyes are closed and we're not seeing. So when we open our eyes, we're grateful for the blessing of vision. Then we make a blessing for untying the bound. Because when you're sleeping, you're dysfunctional. You can't, you're not active. So it's like being chained. So now you're free to move. So we're grateful for the ability to move. The third blessing is for allowing us to stand upright, giving us our posture. You can imagine there are people who have problems standing upright, especially Jews. We have this habit of stooping. We don't have good posture. So the fact that we can stand up from the bed and be upright is a blessing. And then that we have what to wear. So we make a blessing over God providing clothing. Then we start to move around and we thank God for having solid earth beneath our feet. Then we know that wherever we go, wherever we move, it's all directed by a divine plan. So we thank God for directing our steps. Well, once we're talking about steps, then you have to mention your shoes. So we thank God for giving us all of our needs, including shoes. Not everybody has shoes. We aren't always able to afford shoes. So we wore rags around our feet, and that was not good. So we thank God for the shoes. Then we thank God for the mitzvahs that we do, now that we're functional. We thank God for not making me a non-Jew, for not making me a slave, for not making me a woman. That's the series of blessings. The last 3 are very curious. Like, for example, thank you for allowing me to see. Okay, during the night, you're sleeping, your eyes are closed, you don't see. So when you wake up and see again, you make a blessing. But thank you for not making me a non-Jew. Every day? Right, did you stop being a Jew during the night? What is the occasion for that blessing? You should make it once in your life. Because nothing changes. You're a Jew and you're sleeping too. So why do you have to make a blessing over being Jewish when that never got interrupted? It's like when you sit down to a meal, you make a blessing, but you don't repeat it every time you take a bite. You made a blessing for this meal. Unless you interrupt the meal and start a new one, you don't make another blessing over the same thing. So how do you make a blessing? Thank you for making me Jewish, or not making me non-Jewish, every morning? What's the occasion? Thank you for not making me a woman. Why, did you become a woman overnight? Your masculinity is that feeble? Like, if you're not actively male, then you're not male? I mean, come on, what every morning? And thank you for not making me a slave. You didn't go to sleep a slave, you didn't wake up a slave, and you weren't a slave during the night. So what is the occasion for this blessing? And also, why are they said in the negative? All three are negative. Thank you for not making me a non-Jew. Thank you for not making me a slave. And thank you for not making me a woman. Can't we be a little more positive? Thank you for making me a Jew who is free and male. Or female if you happen to be female. So this is really the most beautiful part of the whole. It's not the gender that we're thanking God for, because then you wouldn't make it every day. It's the mitzvot that we're going to perform. When it comes to doing mitzvahs, the commandments, serving God, there are 613 commandments if you're Jewish, if you're free, and if you're male. If you're Jewish and free but female, then you have 599 commandments, not 613. If you're a slave, then you have all the negative commandments, but you don't have the positive ones. So you have 365 commandments. If you're not Jewish, then you have 7 commandments. So every morning, when we're about to do the mitzvot, the commandments that we are given, you have to recognize that you're not the only one serving God. Non-Jews do mitzvahs, even a slave has mitzvahs, women have mitzvahs, you're not the only one. But you do have the maximum number for which you have to be grateful. So it's not thank you for making me a male Jewish free, because then it sounds like you're the only one who's doing anything useful. So what you say is, there are non-Jews, they do mitzvahs, but thank you for giving me more. There are slaves, they do mitzvahs, thank you for giving me more. And there are women, they do mitzvahs, but thank you for giving me the maximum. So then the question is, why don't you simply say that? Why don't you simply say, thank you for giving me 613 commandments. We do say, by the way, and we must say every morning, thank you for giving us the Torah. So what is the difference between Torah and mitzvot? We can thank God for giving us the Torah. We cannot thank God for giving us the commandments. It makes sense. The Torah is available. You learn it, you study it, you read it, you hold it, you dance with it. So you can say, thank you for giving me the Torah. It's inappropriate to say, thank you for giving me a commandment. The response to a commandment is, go do it. Don't say thank you. Particularly if you say, thank you for giving me the commandment, and then you don't do it. Now that's really adding insult to injury. So it's inappropriate. Somebody asks you to do them a favor and you say thank you. What kind of response is that? So a mitzvah is not an object that you can be thankful for. You don't have a mitzvah. You do the mitzvah. So you can't say, thank you for giving me a commandment. So what we say is, thank you for not excluding me from any of the 613. How so? I'm not a non-Jew, I'm not a slave, and I'm not a woman, so I have all the commandments. But I'm thanking God for not excluding me. I can't thank God for giving me obligations. But there's something even deeper than that. If I was going to put a list of things that I am grateful to not be, if you had to thank God for what you're not, would the first thing be a non-Jew? I'm so grateful that I'm not a non-Jew. No, I am much more grateful that I'm not a monkey. I'm grateful I'm not an avocado. But that's absurd. Why? Because I have no relationship with avocados. So why do I have to be grateful that I'm not? Why, was I about to be? Was I once an avocado? Like, what's the meaning of it? However, every Jew has to make a blessing saying, thank you for not making me a non-Jew, because we were all non-Jews. Until the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, the children of Israel were not Jews. We also have to thank God for not making us slaves. Why? Because before we became the people of Israel, we were slaves. So we were non-Jews, we were slaves. So there is an occasion and a reason to say thank you for changing that. And then, thank you for not making me a woman. Why? Because as a fetus, I was a woman. Not only because I was part of my mother's body, but because every fetus starts off being female. When the other chromosome gets added on, you become male. So everyone starts off being female. So it's sensible to say, thank you for the miracle of a female fetus becoming a male. Thank you for the miracle of a slave people becoming free. And thank you for the miracle of Gentiles who had 7 commandments. Thank you for changing that and turning us into Jews, and now we have all the commandments. You may have heard this joke already because I repeat it a lot. This guy says, when I was young, I intended to be the best at everything. I'm going to win the Super Bowl with a touchdown. I'm going to win the World Series with a home run. I'm going to cure cancer with my own discovery. I'm going to be the best at everything. Then I grew up and I realized that's not going to happen. So I decided I'm going to be the best at one thing. I got a little older and I realized that's not going to happen. So I decided that I would like to be good at many things, not the best. But then I got a little older and I realized I'm not going to be good at all things. Maybe I can be good at something. But now that I'm old, if my wife writes on my tombstone, he was okay, I'll settle for that. That's the male ego. Was I at least okay? Yeah. All right, I'll settle for that. That's why men thrive on compliments. We think women need compliments. It's not true. Men need compliments. Women need appreciation. Women have no question, am I a woman? Of course I'm a woman. Born to a mother, developed as a girl, I'm still a girl, I'm going to be a girl. No confusion. No. So women don't need to be complimented to feel like a woman. But because a woman feels like a woman, she gets very offended if you take her for granted. Yes, I'm a woman, and I'll always be a woman, and I was always a woman. But why is that not worthy of attention? So if you don't show appreciation, women become offended. When a man is not respected, he is intimidated, he's frightened. When a woman is not respected, she's outraged. Because something's not right. So women are very sensitive to the injustice. Men are intimidated by the possibility that maybe I'm not a man. Maybe they're right. A wife says to her husband, "You changed the light bulb? I didn't know you could do that." Every husband will say, "Oh, don't be silly, it's nothing. Anybody can change a light bulb." But he walks away feeling very nice. He got a compliment. Now imagine that he wants to return the compliment. So at breakfast, he says to his wife, "You made the omelet? I didn't know you could make omelets." For some strange reason, it doesn't work. And she'll never make him an omelet again for that stupid remark. What kind of... So, you see the difference. Men are so desperate for a compliment, they'll accept anything. Just say, "I was okay." That's good. Oh, also good. But if you say to a woman, "Yeah, you're okay." What? That's not a compliment, that's an insult. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it.